Haiti, Badou. Chaque jour passé, c'est un coup, yon ane calé. Si souvenir qui n'en kem, qui fait m'pa fin faible. Dans téléphone, nous parler, mais ça passe. Les coquilles, ou embrasser, ou pour nous caresser. Si kem bébé, tous les soirs, c'est tellement moins fait. Puis retourner, ce cabane, non, moins pas ça dormir. Nous sommes papillons qui sont ailes, qui font ça voler. Nous sommes machines sans moteur, qui font ça rouler.
Let me tell you a story about paradise. A beautiful land with lush green trees, high mountains, and crystal blue water. A haven for those who were hunted, tortured, and enslaved all over the world. Here on this half an island, they fought for sanctuary and self-determination. An entirely unique culture was born, where art is intertwined with everyday life, so that the beauty of the land and the beauty of the people and the beauty of everyday life are one. This is the land of Haiti. This is not an idealized story, and this is not an idyllic world. Political corruption, economic greed, international politics, and governmental deforestation plunged the people of Haiti into the crushing physical and spiritual degradation of poverty. They became the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, just off the shores of Disney World.
Unfortunately, Haiti has been arguably the largest victim in the world of oppressive non-Haitian forces throughout history. They were colonized by the French, colonized by the Spanish, colonized by the United States, and they are currently being colonized through unjust loans, both to the French government, the American government, and the Canadian government. The reality is that 60% of the world lives on less than $2 a day. That number is closer to 80% in a place like Haiti.
Yet the people of paradise are resilient. Patrick and Francois Villiers believe in the strength, the dignity, and the possibility of their own people.
Meeting Patrick Villiers and meeting Francoise, his wife, was truly a inspirational experience. That couple is so dedicated to lifting the Haitian people up and are able to really accomplish amazing things with minimal resources.
They gathered together children who could not afford to go to the government-supported Catholic schools and built a primary and secondary school that both educates and feeds children in the heart of Port-au-Prince. They started a nursing school to train women who would practice medicine in small villages in the mountains where there are no hospitals and no doctors. They started a seminary so that the religious leaders from an unprecedented spectrum of denominations could be educated and helped to lead and transform their villages. They gathered together 6,000 communities of the poorest of the poor to organize for political change, to work for justice and growth for all the people of Haiti. Patrick and Francois formed a partnership with churches in the United States. Americans gave them computers, textbooks, and scholarships. They gave Americans the example of faith lived daily in all circumstances. With friendship, love, commitment, and grace, they built a movement. They call it CONASPEH.
CONASPEH est une organisation qui a pris naissance le 8 mai.
CONASPEH was established in 1986. It started with 50 pastors, and they get together. But originally, they wanted to start that organization to fight against intolerance, discrimination, and inequality in society.
CONASPEH and Pastor Patrick and some of the core pastors of this organization have a liberating message that can really inspire and transform the people to get involved in their own liberation.
CONASPEH's logo is the tree of life with its roots turned upside down to the sky. CONASPEH's roots were in heaven. The youth that they nurtured embraced that symbol and made it their own. They kept the inverted tree of life, but they put its roots in Haiti. Haiti is their home. Haiti is their heaven. On the afternoon of January 12, 2010, a 7.0 earthquake hit in and around Port-au-Prince. In the next few weeks, over 54 aftershocks of up to 5.9 rocked the city. Haiti was devastated.
As you can imagine, the scene in the streets was pretty intense and chaotic. Mothers and fathers holding their kids who had been severely injured. People were just bleeding and crying out and frantic. There were several bodies in the streets even at that point.
As people were screaming and praying and declaring the end of the world, we watched neighbors come out of their houses bloodied and scared, reunions happening on the street.
CONASPEH was decimated.
When we came out of our house the morning after the earthquake, Françoise Villiers was outside, and she had walked several miles across the city. And so we were able to connect with her, and it was at that time that she informed us that the CONASPEH building had completely collapsed and that there were dozens of people inside. When we arrived, we saw what was a 6-story building had turned into a giant pile of concrete and rebar.
They lost 15,000 books, 45 computers, and the lives of family and friends. (2,500) CONASPEH churches and schools were within the earthquake zone. 128 of them in Cité Soleil, the poorest and hardest hit area.
UN troops increased from 8,000 to 11,000, bringing more fear and anxiety. In early November, Haiti, still struggling to recover, was struck by Hurricane Tomas with 85-mile-per-hour winds. In its aftermath, cholera now rages throughout the country, as many are still living in tent cities throughout Port-au-Prince.
Haiti did not have the infrastructure to care for its people before the earthquake, and the government is struggling to recover. But the people of paradise are resilient.
One of the biggest stories that should have come out of Haiti after the earthquake was how the communities came together in the tent cities, lifted each other up, and did what they could to serve those around them. Just the amount of courage and compassion that took place was just astounding. People with nothing to begin with, people who were hungry and thirsty, maybe in need of medical care themselves, were reaching out and helping those who were a little worse off around them. The violence and the looting that the media has tended to focus on is the exception to what was really taking place on the ground after the earthquake. The majority of people who were able to be found alive underneath rubble were removed by groups of Haitians who came together and used brute physical force to remove slabs of concrete and rebar everything else in order to save lives. We know that Patrick and Francoise Villiers began rescue efforts almost immediately, and because of their work and the work of dozens of other people who contributed, their efforts certainly saved lives.
The tree of life was cut down, but it has not died.
CONASPEH gathered their board together 1 week after the earthquake. We gathered under a tree in a vacant lot. The meeting opened in prayer. In the first few moments of that meeting, it was the first time I saw some of the leadership, some of the most resilient and inspirational people that we've worked with in Haiti really have a hard time moving on. I can't imagine what it must have been like for the people their blood, sweat, and tears and those projects have been going on for the last 25 plus years. But during the course of the meeting, they started to talk about what they could do and how they would respond and how they would work together as a team and utilize the network that CONASPEH has had in place for all these years. There's 6,700 churches all over the country, all organized by branches of leadership that help tie these churches together, and how they could use those branches in order to get help to the people who needed it most.
On April 17th, CONASPEH schools reopened under tents on a 6-acre piece of land purchased with help from partner churches in the United States. CONASPEH's 7 regional centers, with 30 regional coordinators, have become sites for emergency food and supplies distribution, medical attention, training, and trauma counseling. Even though the buildings were damaged or destroyed, and trouble still haunts the country, the people gather where they know they will receive support.
Watching CONASPEH replan, and you could almost see the vision that they were discussing about cleaning up and mobile offices and the rebuilding efforts. You just watched hope form.
CONASPEH is providing interest-free loans, which will grow into a revolving fund to help families find housing and get back on their feet. In Haiti, education means liberation, and parents will pay school fees before getting food or housing. So CONASPEH is subsidizing teachers' salaries to alleviate these fees. Soon they will be reopening their nursing and seminary schools and developing an animal project similar to Heifer International.
Francoise Villiers at the end of that meeting said, we need to remember that CONASPEH is not a building, it's not a church, it's not a school. It's a philosophy, it's people working together to lift each other up, and we have more work to do now than ever.
The goal of Reconstruction, says Patrick, is to maintain the dignity and respect of the Haitian individual and provide justice in the process. The roots of Haiti run deep, deeper than piles of concrete, deeper than the chaos of relief organizations, deeper than fear or desperation. The roots of Haiti are in the spirit that rises up to recover, rebuild, and renew. CONASPEH and the 6,700 communities it teaches, heals, and supports need your help to strengthen their spirit and rebuild their country. With your support, Haiti will see the fruit of paradise come to flower, knowing that, in the words of Patrick Villiers, there is always reason to hope.
Papillons qui sont ailes qui peuvent s'envoler, nous sommes machines sans moteur qui peuvent s'enrouler. Les noms contrés, n'a pété, je montre passé. N'a fait l'amour, je nous saute en coup fou, mi fou. Pas fatigué ou reposé pour nous capturer.